very pleased to be here. I think I was asked to try to bring forward in this very interesting debate of business ethics the case of the medtech industry, medical technology industry. So I'd like just to maybe give you a bit of a background of who is this industry, what does it mean. So I'll try to go to the next slide, which will. Yes, okay. The medical technology industry, I'll talk to you about it in Europe. That's about 500,000 people that work in this industry in Europe. It has one of the interesting characteristics to be represented by slightly over 22,000 companies. So it goes from the extremely small companies of a couple of persons to obviously some of the large healthcare companies involved, over thousands of employees. It's about globally about 100 billion of sales, of revenues that it creates in Europe. It covers a huge variety of domain, going from things as mechanical bed, canes, condoms, heart valves, brain stimulator for Parkinson's disease, heart defibrillators, stents, but also diabetes treatment. So it covers everything which basically is not really a drug, but contributes, let's say, to the well-being of people and try to alleviate pain, restore, let's say, health and save life. Now, this industry is characterized by one thing. It's very innovation-driven. To give you an idea, there is this type of product that the industry develops is basically very much like the computer industry, which is the lifespan of a product is between 1.5 years to 2 years to 3 years. And the way products generally develop is by a very close relationship with physicians. So we'll go to the next slide, maybe. I'm going to push to, yes. And that's one of the characteristics, and that's an interesting one because that's where the whole issue of ethics starts to get in place. It is absolutely critical that this industry gets a very special relationship with physicians because most of the time the innovation cycle, we used to say, starts actually at the patient's bed level, where physicians try to develop ideas on how to solve a health problem. That idea generally then is shared with some industry, and then they try to see how they can develop that solution to expand it to others. That's the basic model and the most important model that we have in the industry to develop innovation. Immediately, obviously, that raises, I have to say sometimes, suspicion because of this very close relationship that there is between industry and actually the users of our technologies. But it's essential that we have that relationship because that's how we drive innovation. Most of the ideas are coming from the physician, are coming from the actual users of technologies. And the second critical part for us is that as we do and develop innovation, we also have a tremendous responsibility as an industry is to train physicians. Not everybody can become an expert in replacing a heart valve. That generally requires a lot of training, and that training is, yes, generally provided by the industry because these are specific technologies. So it is essential that through the relationship that we maintain with the physicians, that there is that transparency that will allow us to continue to do that essential training for the good sake of the patient at the end. Now, maybe I pushed too hard.
Yeah.
That's the one. So, as a result, it is essential, and our engagement as EUCOMED, which is representing the overall industry, is to try to set and develop the highest ethical standards, which will allow that relationship with healthcare professional to continue to live. That's critical because this will be trying to safeguarding this cycle of innovation. We must engage as an industry, and we are engaging as an industry in maintaining and trying to self-regulate ourselves to the highest standards possible. The issue here is if we cannot continue to have that very unique relationship that we need with the physician, then basically the overall industry will slow down its innovation cycle, and at the end, this will not be a good option for the good sake of patients providing them with true and solid solution to their healthcare conditions. This, as an industry, obviously we engage very strongly. As an association, this is among our top 3 priorities that we have, is to develop solid, very solid, ethical standards, which shall be applied by all our members. When you become a member of EUCOMED, you have to sign the charter that we have, our code of ethics. It is not an option, okay, it is fully part of it. Now, we try to continue to develop different ideas. Some of them are, we're also trying to raise the standard by saying not only you sign a code of ethics, but overall management, and we talked about it, from your CEOs, should also sign this engagement. So it is not just somebody in your organization accept you, but it's also at the level of CEOs that they understand clearly that there is a true engagement. And if you accept to do this, then yes, we will even go all the way to give you a special way of showing to the outside world that you are engaged into bringing to the highest standards possible ethical behavior. Now, it is not easy, I have to tell you this. It is not simple when you have 22,000 members, potentially, to have to drive, obviously, the highest standards possible. However, we try to make sure that people understand the outcome of all this. The outcome is very clear. If you don't do it right, this is the overall cycle of our industry which can be put at stake later on. Now, we have, yes, code of ethics, business conducts. We have training cycle that we provide to our members. We have training material that we provide to our members. And as they go through it, basically, they get granted higher and higher level of recognition. There is one thing that we've just tried to put in place. This is a very aggressive one, which is we're trying to set, we have set, sorry, not trying to, now we have set a panel. Yes, I've got no more lights. Yes. We have set, this is not working anymore. We've set a panel which basically is going to look at all the congresses that our industry participates. And according to the program, the location, the association will say yes or no, you as a member can participate into that event. We are very cautious and conscious of the fact that we have to also be extremely careful the way we practice and exchange and where we do it. This is a difficult one because, trust me, there is a lot of pressure coming also from outside of the organizers of congresses, which don't understand why we might say tomorrow, this place, we don't deem it to be a right place to have a congress. I'd like to just conclude by saying, for us, we see ethics as a significant bridge builder. It is essential, as I told you, to develop, obviously, our companies, to develop also the right solution for patients. It is essential if we want to have the trust also of the community and the government, and it's essential to make sure that we can tomorrow continue to develop our businesses. Thank you.